Let's play a game. It's called How Many Poker Chips Are in My Cup? And another version of this game is How Many Blue Poker Chips Are in My Cup? You're saying, why are we playing this silly game? It has nothing to do with energy. Well, it has nothing to do with energy, and it has everything to do with energy, because if you can understand how this basic silly game is played, then you get the big idea of energy. All right. Well, before we play the game, we have to go through the rules of the game. And so here is the cup that's going to contain the poker chips. And the rules of the game are, and you probably know this, is that chips are conserved. That doesn't mean don't waste your chips. Spend your chips wisely. It means chips cannot be created or destroyed. Now, I know that chips can be created but in this game, chips cannot be destroyed and they cannot be conserved. And this is getting a little weird. And the chips come, let's say, the chips come in 3 colors. And they're going to either be blue. Oh, am I going to... Okay, you got the idea. They're going to be green. Okay. And then they're going to be red. Now, the next rule, which makes no sense in real life, is that chips can change color. Okay, I know this isn't real. Chips can change color. We would call that a transformation, a color transformation. And 4, chips can be transferred. They can come into the cup if somebody puts them into the cup. It's not going to happen spontaneously. And they can also leave if somebody takes them out. All right, let's play the game. Round number 1, we're going to deal with an isolated cup. Isolated cup means that basically there can be no transfer. So let's see. Let's do it this way. All right, so we're going to have... Can I have red? Yes, we have red. I have 6 red cup. I have 6 red chips. Let me put a circle around it. I've got 4 green chips, and I don't know how many blue chips there are, but I know that the total number is 12. There are 12 chips. So can you tell me how many blue chips there are? Yes, you can. There are 2. Now, we take our eyes off of this cup and time goes by and maybe something happens. But the key thing is nothing is transferred in or out. So here's my first question is, how many total chips are in the cup? Reminder, no chips were added to the cup and no chips were taken away. Yes, very good. There are 12 chips in the cup. Now, since we know that in this weird game, poker chips can transform, do we know how many blue chips there are? No, we do not, because some of these red chips and some of these green chips could have turned blue, these blue chips could have turned green, etc. So let's say, though, that somebody's able to tell you that there's 1 red chip and there are 3 green chips. Do you know how many blue chips there are? I bet you do, because we have a total of 12, and we know 4 are not blue, and that means 8 are blue. Okay, you might be saying, well, what is this going to help me out? Well, here's the deal with energy. I'm going to talk a little bit about energy now. Let's suppose that this was kinetic energy. If you know how many blue chips, if you know how much kinetic energy there is, you know how fast it is. Let's suppose that this represented gravitational potential energy. If you know how many gravitational potential energy chips there are, you know how high something is at any given moment. And if this represents elastic potential energy or spring energy, If you know how much spring energy is, then you can know how much deflection, how much stretching there is. Okay, let's look at our last example is a non-isolated cup. And let's just go ahead and say there are 8 blue, there are 5 green, and there are 7 red chips. Now I believe that's 20 total. Yes, that's 20 total. Okay, there's 20 total. And then now in this, you are told that somebody just transferred 8 chips in. Oh, and let's just make it even. And then somebody else took out 3 chips at the same, in the same time window. So 8 came in, 3 left. Can you tell me how many poker chips are in the table? Well, let's see. We started with 20, and then we had 8 added. That's 28, but then 3 were taken out, so there's going to be 25. Now, how many blue chips? You don't have any idea because you don't know for the reasons we said before. But like we did before, suppose I said, oh, there's, what is that? Get out of here. Suppose that there were 10 red and there were 7. Oh, I didn't mean it to be 8, but oh well. Okay, there's 7 green. Can you tell me how many blue poker chips there are? Yes, there are 8. Okay, this is how energy works. It's really no different, except instead of dealing with different colored poker chips, we're going to have our 3 main forms of mechanical energy: kinetic energy, gravitational potential energy, and spring energy. And we're going to talk about, well, how would you transfer energy into a mechanical system? We're going to get in that next video. But this is basically an overview of how we approach energy analysis. It's really kind of like a game. Okay.